Hey everyone, I'm Jack Watson, a UI UX designer, illustrator, animator, and donut connoisseur, and that last part is going to be important for today's challenge. I'll be your host for this Illustrator marketing challenge. Before we get started, make sure to check the links in the description below this video. We've got a ton of great links for you. Links to other challenges, our Creative Cloud communities, including our Illustrator Discord, and a link to download your free resources to create along with us. So, today we're going to be working with photos. So obviously we want to have Photoshop open, right? Nope! April Fools! We're going to be working in Illustrator. We're going to be working in Illustrator with photos today, which, yes, you can do. I use Illustrator all of the time for compositing images and even doing some edits. So, I've got some photos here for you in our starter file for today. You don't have to use these, but I thought it would be fun to do a little donut photo shoot for all of you to play with. So, if you don't want to use these photos and you want to use your own, that's fine. You can just put them into this file, or you can go to one of the links I've got under here, stock.adobe.com/free, to get some photos. So you can go to stock.adobe.com. There's this free section here if you want to access some free photos to throw into your into your design. So we are going to be making a YouTube thumbnail. So I've got an artboard over here sized to what you'll need to export for YouTube. Since we are working with photos today, I do want to just take a quick moment to let everybody know that so normally in Illustrator we're working with vector art, and in this case these photos are raster, so you just want to be cognizant or aware that as you're working with these, we don't really want to scale these up too much. We want to be aware of the native pixel dimensions of these, because as you start to scale them up, they are going to start to look pixelated and a little bit blurry. So if you can avoid scaling up as much as possible, try. So obviously we're going to be working on something with donuts. So what I like to do before I begin is to try and think about what is the message or the main theme of my video. With our thumbnail, we only have a small amount of space to kind of tell our story, and so you want to try and minimize down to like, what is the main concept I want to tell somebody. So if we kind of look at these images, we can kind of brainstorm different videos. Like maybe this is a video about like a pop-up donut event, or like a new donut shop opening, or maybe this is, in my case, like a donut connoisseur donut review. So like, check out these donut connoisseur top picks. So you can kind of start to come up with these ideas, and then you can simplify down from there to like the core main messaging and try to include that keyword into your title. So I like to come up with the title first and the imagery, like the title and the imagery together, focusing on that keyword or message. So in this case, I'm going to use a little bit of a pun. I think we're going to go with something like, you donuts. I'm going to change my font really quickly. So I just grab my type tool. I'm going to grab the selection tool, and I'm going to change this to something else. There we go. And we do have, it looks like we have under our character panel here, I'm just going to open this up really quickly, and we're going to turn off all caps. So we're going to go with you donuts want to miss these. So I'm just going to drag this onto my artboard so you can see it. And I'm also going to hit, I'm going to open up my layers, and I'm going to make sure it's on my art layer here. So I've got a little bit of a pun here. I'm trying to think about like the, I want to entice people to want to watch this video. I want them to want to learn more. Like, what about these? What don't I want to miss? So, and I'm also using a little bit of a pun here to include that donut word in our key messaging, and you know, it's a little bit playful. So let's pick some images now. And hey live chat friends, how's everybody doing? How's your day going? What are you all working on? We've got a live chat here over on Behance, be.net/Adobe Live every day at 11:30 a.m. Pacific if you want to chat and hang out. Rob is saying, oh my gosh, look at that cruller. Yeah, they are some tasty donuts, let me tell you. So I'm going to just take a look here at what I've got, and I think what I want to do is I want to grab a photo that's got a lot of real estate of our subject. So these close-up images are really nice, and we might include them in a different way, But to start, I want to grab something that's like, I can see all of the image. It's going to give me a lot of real estate to play with. So I'm going to grab my selection tool. I'm going to select this one right here because I think this is going to be a good one to work with. I'm going to hit Command C, and I'm going to go up here to my artboard. I'm going to click on my art layer here, and then I'm going to paste in front using Command F, and we're just going to pull it onto our artboard. So now, in order to do some compositing, we want to think, it's like collaging, right? We're going to mix images and text and maybe some illustration. We're all going to mix all that together to create an image that tells a story. So if I zoom in here, I'm going to make a mask of this image. So I'm going to be working mostly with clipping masks today in order to kind of crop these images. And they're super easy to work with, I promise. So I'm going to start with a rectangle, since this is primarily a rectangle shape, and I'm going to click and I'm just going to drag across here. So we're going to match kind of the area that we want to show. Anywhere that's inside of the object that you make is going to be visible once you're done masking. So everything inside of here is going to be visible. All of this extra stuff out here is the stuff that's going to get masked or hidden away. So we've got our shape. I'm going to switch it to a color that we can actually see, like yellow. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to switch my stroke and fill. This is going to make it easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. And I'm going to zoom in. Now, I'm not going to be particularly specific about my mask today. You guys can obviously be a lot more detailed and careful as you work through this. I just want to capture the general shape here, following the lines of my box. It's a little bit wonky. That's okay. And we're going to use this as our mask. So, dragging these corner points out here so that they line up. I might need to grab my pen tool, clicking here to add another point and then bring that down because it's got a little bit of a curve there. Checking everything out here. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to zoom out. Everybody in our live chat, it looks like, is telling me their favorite donuts. Please tell me your favorite donuts. I want to hear it. All right, so I'm going to go back to the selection tool over here. I'm going to select everything to make sure I've got all of my points selected. Switching to my direct selection, I want to just round the corners out a little bit using those live corners. So if I zoom in, you can see the corners of this are a little bit rounded out. So I'm going to grab my direct selection and grab those live corners and just going to round those out a little bit. So now I've got the shape and I've got the image. I want to mask this. So I'm going to grab my selection tool. I'm going to click on that shape again, that yellow shape that I want to be my mask. I'm going to hold down Shift and I'm going to click the image behind it, the photo. I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit Make Clipping Mask. And now you can see that we've got a mask that just contains our box of donuts. And if we slide it around here off of our artboard, you can see as I bring it over top of the other elements, it's actually going to be cut out and the background's going to come through. So let's bring it on over here again. The other thing that we want to do here is we want to create, like I said, a sense of excitement, curiosity, want to entice the viewer. So I'm going to add a little bit of a dynamic angle to this image. I'm just going to rotate a little bit, and then I'm going to slide it so it's not quite on the artboard. When we export this image, anything outside of this artboard, outside of our canvas, is not going to save with it. So it's not too big of a deal. We can, have things kind of come off the artboard and it's fine. So now we've got our image in here. We might want to add a background color now just to kind of help ground it in our scene and give us something to work with to put text over top of. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool over here. I do have some smart guides turned on under View Smart Guides. Those are the little pink indicators you're seeing popping up all over the place. If I go up to the corner over here, you're going to get that little indicator in that pink that is telling me that I am snapped to the top corner. Click and drag to the bottom right corner here, and now I've got a shape that matches my artboard. If I double click on the color picker, I can change this color to be something that matches my donut lighting here to help it fit into the scene. I'm actually going to hit cancel. I'm going to use the eyedropper for this. So I'm just going to try and pick one of these colors, the pink here, to fit it in with the scene colors. So I've got a pink fill. I'm going to go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back, and that's going to put it kind of behind our donut box. So you can see I've got a little bit of pink lighting on these donuts, and I'm using the pink background so it all feels, together. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to get my text on here. I want to get my image and my text on here first so that I can keep these the like main focus of my design, work out from there, right? So as long as I have the main image and the main text, and then everything else is just going to kind of help accentuate that. So I need to pick a font for this, and I'm going to go to the other link that I have in your resources here, which is Adobe Fonts. So I'm going to click on all fonts here, and I'm going to think the same things when I'm picking fonts. What is the story I'm trying to tell? What is the personality of this video? I think I want something, just kind of looking over at these tags that you can pick from. Friendly kind of calls out to me, because friendly, donuts are very friendly, they're very fun. We're going to scroll down, and I want something that's maybe a little heavier so that I can have heavy, like bold text for my title. So I'm going to hit heavy on my weight, and then under this sort, I always like to go down here and pick new, because I just like the latest and greatest. So I'm just going to take a look through here and decide on something really quickly. I think this one looks good because it's got like slightly rounded corners, and that kind of gives me that donut look, right? So I'm going to activate those fonts. It's going to tell me that it's done it, and I'm going to switch over here, and we are ready to go. Lots of people are talking about their favorite donuts in our live chat, and also telling me about bagels. Wade, our moderator Wade, likes bagels. Or no, doesn't like bagels? I can't tell. You guys are crazy. Alright, so I am going to apply this font to here. I'm going to go to Puffin, Display Soft. So that looks pretty good. I think it fits with the personality. I think I want this text to all be on individual lines. So I'm going to just kind of click here. With my type tool, I'm going to type out U. I'm going to drag it onto my artboard here. Command C and Command F to paste in front. Dragging this down, holding down Shift. I'm going to type out donut. I'm going to slide this over here, just kind of matching the shape here of that I've got in the space. Copy and paste, Command C, Command F. Let's do maybe like just want on this line. And Command C, Command F. To miss. And then finally, our last line of text, Command C, Command F. We're going to do these. Alright. Now let's add some hierarchy to our text. So we've got our text here, but it's just kind of flat, right? There's no hierarchy to it. I'm going to scale up donut because I want this to be the main focus of this design here. Donut is like the word that we want people to see right away when they're looking at this. I'm also going to align using the Align tool over here, or over here in our Properties panel. I'm going to, with my Selection tool, drag and select all four of those lines of text. Holding down Shift, I'm going to click to deselect the background. And I'm just going to hit horizontal align right, and it's going to align my text to the right. Holding down Shift, I'm going to select U, and I'm just going to drag everything back onto my artboard. Alright, so we've got our donut text emphasized now. I'm going to go back in here, and I'm going to select U, Want, and To Miss. And I'm going to make these, I think maybe something like medium. I don't want these to take as much emphasis up. I want donut to be emphasized, and I want these because it's kind of like the last remark on the statement. So if I read this text, if I'm looking at this and I'm visually reading it in my mind, I'm probably going to read it as you donut want to miss these. So these and donut are emphasized as I'm looking at this text. So now we've got, I think this looks pretty good in terms of the text hierarchy. I want to start to add some more kind of details to this, to like build out this scene. So let's move this up a little bit. And let's start to add maybe a couple more photos, right? I feel like the background needs like a little bit of texture. So we might go back in here and use, I know somebody commented in the live chat that they really, really liked the acrylic here. So I'm going to grab this photo, and I'm just going to hit Command C, and then making sure I'm on my art layer here, I'm going to hit Command V, and it's going to paste that into our layer. We're just going to use our alignment tools again, this time making sure that we've got Align to Artboard selected, and we can go horizontal center and vertical center. So now it's centered over our artboard. And we're going to want to move this to the back. So I can do this one of two ways. In this case, I'm just going to pull out my Layers panel, I'm going to drag it down until it's in front of my little pink rectangle there. Now, we obviously don't want that because it's really hard to read. We don't have good contrast. So I'm going to select my donut image, and now we're going to play with some blending modes in here so we can mix the background image with those colors. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to see, I think I want something a little bit lighter. Let's see, let's try overlay or maybe soft light. And we're just going to bring the transparency down a little bit. So I just want a little bit of that background image coming through just to give that a little bit of texture. So now though, I think we need to lighten this text because I don't think this has good contrast. So I'm going to select all of my text over here, holding down Shift and clicking to select each one. We're going to change that to white. And then I'm going to select my pink here, my pink background, and I think I'm going to make this a little bit darker. And we'll see how that looks. Just maybe something like that. Yeah, there we go. I like how the colors are mixing there. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. I do want to add some more things in here. Might make some adjustments. I might bring this image up to fill a little bit more of this space. I want to add maybe another element over here underneath the text here, and maybe underneath here. I can see that I'm getting a nice angle on this tray of donuts that's helping point the viewer's eye towards my title. So while I'm looking at this set of donuts here, it's pointing up and I'm reading down. So I might want to add something else down here to kind of point back, maybe literally an arrow back to our tray, and then maybe we'll add a little donut here. What do you think? So I'm going to take a look at my photos and see if I've got something that has good, a good shot of like a straight on donut. This looks good. So I'm going to grab this one, Command C. I'm going to go up here on my art layer and I'm going to hit Command V to paste. Now this is going to be a slightly different clipping mask. So we did the one that was a rectangle that we modified. This time we're going to use the pen tool and we're just going to kind of go around clicking and dragging, following the curves of this donut. And I'm not being too precise. Like I said, when you guys do this, you can be really precise. I just want to kind of show you that we can do this with a really general kind of shape here. Alright, and I'm going to switch that again so we can see through the donut because I want to go in here and I want to get the inside of this donut as well. So I want to go in here and I want to grab my pen tool going around the inside of the donut so that we can get both the inside and the outside. Ooh, David in our live chat has a great idea. Make the O in donut a donut. That's a great idea, and we could totally do that. So I'm going to select the path on the inside. I'm going to shift select the path on the outside. And now I'm going to go to, I'm actually going to right click to do this. Right click and make compound path. It doesn't look like anything changed, but if I switch my fill and stroke, you can see we have a donut shape. So now with my compound shape selected, I'm going to hold down Shift, select my photo, right click again, and make clipping mask. So now we have this masked donut that we can also play with and add to our image here. So if we bring it up to my text, we can scale it down and we can start to think about how we want to add this, placed in our image here with our text. Maybe we have it just kind of like peeking. I'm going to select all my text here and I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Actually, I'm going to leave these. I'm going to make want to miss a little bit smaller, giving myself a little bit more room. Bring this up a little bit. I'm just thinking about how I can make this fit naturally in this space. So we could totally make this small and fit it over our donut here if we wanted to and replace that letter. And that would be a cool idea too. So feel free to do that. Alright, I'm going to zoom in, and now to complete our kind of circle here, I'm going to grab a stroke. So I'm going to go from my white fill, clicking those arrows, I'm going to get a stroke, and then I'm going to grab my pen tool, and clicking down from these, I'm literally just going to draw a path that follows the curve of our circle that we want to lead the viewer's eyes across our composition. So I've got a stroke here. I'm going to go over to my stroke, either the stroke panel or, hang on, let me grab my selection tool. If I select that line, you can grab the stroke panel over here, or you can go over here in appearance in your properties panel, and we can change the stroke from over here. We're going to make this fairly large, something like 15, and I'll get to Y in a second. And then we're going to change, we're going to add an arrowhead on this. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to pick an arrowhead. We're going to go with something plain, something easy to see. And you'll notice that our arrowhead's on the wrong side. So we need to flip it using these little arrows over here so that's pointing towards our donuts. And it's a little bit big. So I'm going to go over to the scale and I'm going to drop it down to like 50%. So now our arrowhead's a little bit smaller. It's in the place that we want it to be. And then finally, I'm going to go to my stroke width profile. I'm going to click on the tapered line. Again, I'm going to need to flip that using those arrows. And you can see that we've got an arrow pointing towards our donuts. So let's zoom back out here for a second. And you can see that now we've got a bunch of text here with our title. We've got our donut, image, very enticing. And we've got an arrow that kind of completes that circle, that composition. So the eye is being led all the way around. And it's a really good point, at this point, it's a really good idea to zoom way out and take a look and make sure that what you are seeing is going to read clearly at small sizes. YouTube thumbnails, if you've ever been browsing on YouTube on your phone or something, they get really small. And so you want to make sure that you don't have too much text or text that's really small, and that the primary call to action, the primary image, and the primary message comes through really, really clearly. In this case, donut and the donut tray. We want to make sure that's really, really clear. So the last couple of things I'm going to show you are just kind of like flourishes we could add at this point. At this point, we're just adding in some details, right? So we could click on our two donuts here, our donut photo, and we can hold down Shift and click on our tray of donuts, and you can actually add effects to two objects at once. So if we go to Effect and we go to Stylize, Drop Shadow, we can add a drop shadow to our image. So I have this set pretty low. We could go maybe like 30, maybe like 10, and 25 or something like that, just to help it kind of stand out visibly from the background a little bit. Oh, Philip has a good idea. Philip in our live chat saying, I would make it really big so there's a quarter of the donut showing and the hole is right in the top corner. That would be good. And Corey in our live chat saying, need all caps in this one. Oh yeah, it's a good idea. We could select all of our text here, holding down Shift, selecting all of this. And if we go to our character panel, which is underneath our properties panel, you can click on these three dots to get more options. And you can actually set the capitalization of your text right here instead of having to type it all out again. So it's a really handy little option there. And then you can see we might need to realign this U. So I'm going to click on U. I'm going to Shift click on donut. And this is another thing that you can do with the align tools. You can click a second time on your text here, and it's going to create a key object. So it's highlighting this object because that's the thing that it's going to align to. And then when I hit left align, it's left aligning according to that donut text. So I think that looks pretty good so far. You could obviously keep adding more details to this and go crazy, but we want to make sure, like I said, that primary text is always visible and clear along with that primary image. So I'm going to go to export for screens. We're going to save out this just to my desktop here. You can see in here that we've got it's cropped to the artboard. Export it out. And then you can hop over to our Discord. You can get a link to our Discord in the description below this video. It's our Creative Cloud Illustrator community. There's lots of great people in here submitting all of their work. We can see this from Seek Bobby has got the coloring page going. I love Dorina. There's some kind of like bird, I think, flying through the scene. These are great. You guys have been doing such great work. I love this one from Satlin with the colors. I think these colors are just so gorgeous. Lots of great stuff from everybody, and our mentors are giving everybody great feedback. We've got great mentors in our community, and you can come here, get some feedback, and just hang out with everybody. So I'm going to submit this here. I'm just going to drag it into Discord, and then I can just hit enter or send, and it's uploaded there for everybody to see and check out my work. All right, so, that was the wrong button. Hit the wrong button. Thank you so much for joining me today for this marketing challenge in Illustrator. We went over clipping masks, we went over combining imagery using compositing with the clipping masks. We went over color and hierarchy and using color and hierarchy to create a focal point and tell a story. So we're live every day, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time at behance.net/Adobe Live. And make sure to stay tuned to Behance for more live content. Bye, everyone!